I'm joined on the line by Dr. Nicholas Andela. He's joining us from the UK to talk about his book, 1 Trillion Stories for Kids. Now, it's very interesting because it's not just about storytelling, although that does play a big part. It's really got to do with harnessing the power of mind mapping and teaching that to learners. Nicholas, thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure.
Now, won't you just give us an introduction to 1 Trillion Stories for Kids?
Okay, well, the idea stems back from around 1992 when I was at medical school at the University of the Orange Free State. I was struggling a bit with my studies, and at that stage I was doing an Afrikaans syllabus. So the education department introduced me to mind maps. And that to me was a complete revelation because it allowed me to take heaps of content and through a very colorful, interactive method, I was able to basically take all this content and just make it so easy to take in through mind maps. Anyway, years and years later, I just came up with the idea of, if I had just known this type of skill from a very young age, it would have benefited me through school. And it's now transpired into a book which actually allows parents to learn mind mapping and then in turn teach their kids the art of mind mapping. So many adults I speak to have never heard of mind mapping, and it's just a revelation. It's something the 21st century needs to push a lot harder in schools because it just makes memory retention, creativity so much more easier. And I'm a big campaigner for mind mapping, and hence the book was born on the back end of a trip from London to Johannesburg through a book writing group from Canada. So yeah, we are. The product's finished, and I'm very happy, and I hope parents take it in and start teaching their kids.
Now, in addition to memory retention and really sort of sparking creativity in kids, you also say that this process could also help develop family bonds, potentially even get kids away from the television, and that's because you're encouraging parents and children to come up with their own stories, and an infinite amount of stories, actually.
Absolutely. Far too often in this modern day, parents and probably child minders, take the easy route. It's very easy to take your kids and put them in front of a TV or allow them to play PlayStation or games, which, sure, it takes their attentions away and lets the adults have some free time, but there's a lot more to it, and this is about about helping parents easily create a mental format off the template, so they can go upstairs with their child or children and utilize that time, which is very intimate time, because the bond that parents would be able to share with their children through this time is basically priceless. And it just allows them to at story time, as I said, unlimited time. They can tell as many stories they want. They can change the angles, and it's something that kids will take in. Because I mean, even from a young age, I remember stories my parents told me, and it's times that you just don't forget. And it's a really special time. And nowadays we're just losing that. It's just too easy to put children in front of TVs and just to forget about them. So from that point of view, the cornerstone of society, is based on intimate times between people, and the book aims to do that through storytelling. It's actually a really good side to the mind mapping.
And through the storytelling process, children will be learning those valuable mind mapping skills that they can then potentially use throughout their academic careers or even their work life. So this is a program almost that allows them to learn those skills young.
Absolutely. Parents can start with very basic maps. So, they can start the stories and then later go on to teaching them the basics that, that children need to know, like hygiene. They can even, through the mind map, create a sequence of events like putting on your pajamas, brushing your teeth, pulling your sheets back. So you can start introducing it at a very basic level that, children could basically witness, and then later just will grow with the effect, and the children will be able to start incorporating that in learning from a very young age. But the great thing about it is that the mind maps are structured in such a way that children can associate with the structure of mind mapping a lot better than anything else. So the earlier they take this in and start using it, the better.
Now, for viewers who are interested, they can log onto your website and access some of these tools. But of course, all of the real goodness in this is all contained in the book. So firstly, won't you tell us where we can get our hands on a copy of the book? And then won't you tell us a little bit more about your website and where we can find out more information about this online?
Okay, the book is available on Amazon. And Amazon's a great platform because it basically makes it available to everybody on the planet, basically. Anybody can engage with Amazon and put an order, and that's the best way. The book's actually printed by Infinity Publishing in the US, but Amazon just makes it accessible to all. The website is designed in such a way that it basically gives users a brief introduction into the book. The actual main template, which the whole book is built around, is actually available free of charge to download. So parents or any adult can download it, have a look at it, and start adapting it, for themselves. The whole idea, it's something you can use. Take the structure and you can make it for yourself, and tailor it to your needs. And that's just all available on the site. And as I said, thinking ahead, later we're going to be adding a whole lot of extra facilities on the site for people to engage with. And that's just, it'll take some time, but it'll be ready for people in months to come.
Well, I think we'll be checking back with you to see how you go with that, and we'll certainly link to the website below this video. Dr. Nick Andela, thank you so much for speaking to us today.
It's a pleasure, and I really appreciate you taking the time to speak to me. I really appreciate it.